everyone, I'm Miss Angela with the East Regional Library. I'm a children's programmer. Today we're going to be doing our Sunday Crafternoon. We are going to be making an origami bracelet that's going to look similar to this. You can adjust it for the size that you need by making less chains, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by a chain. So let's get started with what you need. You're going to need to start off with one sheet of paper. You're going to need crayons or markers or whatever you'd like to decorate it. If you have stickers, that might be super cute. I wouldn't do anything too heavy like rhinestones or anything like that, just because this is so light. I wouldn't want anything to pull it apart. Scissors, a pencil, a ruler, and I'm going to use a pen cap, and I'm going to show you exactly why I'm going to use that as we go along. So we're going to get started. All right, so you're going to take your paper. You're going to use your ruler. Your ruler, you're going to use your centimeters area. Mine's clear, so it's going to be hard to see, but I see where it says centimeters. Mine starts with a 0, so I line mine up on the long portion of the paper, so the 11 inches part, not the 8.5. I'm going to line it up with the 0, and I'm going to make dashes. So we're going to make these 1.5 by 12.5 inches. So I'm going to start with the 12.5 on the long portion so we can make 2 sets of chains, 2 sets of rows to make our chains. So we're going to do 12.5, 25 inches, because I know 12 and 12 is 24, plus one more is 25, because the 2 halves are going to make 1. All right. And then I'm going to do that 2 times, once at the top of my paper and once at the bottom of my paper, because I want everything to be as straight as possible. That way it's easy to fit all the pieces together. All right, so 12.5, 25, 25. I'm going to draw that line. Make sure that it's lined up straight, and then I'm going to trace the other line. And then from there, what you're going to do is, along those lines, you're going to line this up with the 0 on the shorter side of your paper, and you're going to do 1.5 centimeter increments. So 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5, 9, and if you want to just say 1, 2, 3 and make a little dash, if that's easier for you, that works too. 10.5, 12, 13.5, 15, 16.5, 18, 19.5, and 21 is going to be as the most that we can fit. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You should get about 30 total blocks of rectangles. All right, so once you start drawing your lines, it's going to look like this. I'm going to need some library magic, because I don't want you sitting around here waiting for me to finish all my lines. So if you need to pause the video to finish your lines, you can. I'm going to work some library magic. So I just finished all my rectangles. So I'm going to hold it up, and then I'm going to let us take a closer look. Now our next step, you can kind of put these 2 in either order if you want, but I'm going to get rid of the pieces that I'm not going to be able to use for our chains by cutting off the extra little pieces of our paper. And then we get to the fun stuff. So that piece is gone. And then we have like a teeny tiny little edge after the 21 that just didn't quite make the cut to be part of our chains. All right, so then what we're gonna do is you can get your materials to decorate. I like to do different little patterns sometimes. I'm gonna use markers so they show up a little bit better. I'm gonna try to do some patterns. So I really like polka dots. So I'm gonna start out with making one of my rectangles have polka dots. And you can decorate these however you want. If you want to do like a zebra print, if you would want to do just a bunch of teeny tiny little hearts. I like chevrons, so another one I'm going to do is the diagonal up and down triangles. I guess I should say like half triangles. The only thing I would say is try to keep it in your rectangles if you can. So that's the start. I'm going to continue to decorate, and we're going to fast forward with some library magic to finish this up. All right, so I have decorated like 20 squares of our rectangles. If you want to cover them all, you can, and then that way you have a bunch of different designs. We're going to take a closer look at what it may look like when you're finished. All right, our next step is going to be to cut out our rectangles. So you're going to, I like to cut up the middle of the large one. Now, when I was coloring, I tried to keep it as within the rectangle as possible, just because how you see, you're going to see kind of like the little edge part of your rectangle once you kind of get it all together. So I'm going to keep cutting, and I'm going to work some library magic, and when we come back, they will all be cut out. All right, so all of my rectangles are now cut up. I cut out all the colored ones and I left the blank pieces. If you end up needing more, you can always decorate those and cut them out later. So when we take a closer look, you can kind of see that I had different designs on mine. I did some that were solid. I did some that had little designs. I also did some that had full pictures. So like I drew some flowers and then those kind of cut out, and it looked a little cool. So you can really decorate your page however you like and however makes you happy. So our next step is to get our rectangles ready to be chains in our bracelet. So you're going to cut in half, well, fold it in half, not cut, because we're not using our scissors. You're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to open that piece, and you're going to take that arm, and you're going to fold that arm to that middle line. So you can sort of, since he's got color, you can see where he ends. So it's half and half. And these are kind of going to end up looking like bunny ears. So I'm going to refer to some parts of them as part of the bunny ears. That way you know which side you're looking at, the top of the bunny ear or the bottom of the bunny ear by the bunny's head. So we're going to need to fold all of those in half and in half again. We do have a closer look for you. So I'm going to keep folding these, and we're going to work some library magic, and I am going to see you once all these are folded again. All right, so I'm back, and almost all of our chains are made. We're going to leave one unfinished or unfolded. so that we can use him. He's gonna help us to link our bracelet all together. So our first step is you're gonna take 2 chains, so 2 of your rectangles. You're going to, and actually I'm gonna show you my tip. So they have, if you want, you can use your pencil or your pen cap, and you're gonna make a little bit of space in between, and you're going to insert your chain together. Now this one you're going to put toward the end of your ears. So you want to see the 2 spaces with the ears. Let's take a closer look and you'll see how it's put together. And then from there, let's see, we're going to all right, so I have our first 3 chains in. So you start out with, you're gonna always hold it, is the easiest way, is with the first chain, the one with the bunny ear, the top of the bunny ears. You're gonna see, you can see both pieces of paper on this one. So I hold that one. You're gonna face that piece with the bunny ears down toward you. And then after you get that second chain, you're just going to alternate back and forth. You can use your pen cap or your pencil. Sometimes that helps make a little bit more space in your chain to be able to send it through. Why this one isn't working? There we go. Now you're going to be putting the chains, you want to put your 2 ears in between, like the 2 ears are going to be linking up. That makes sense. There we go. Now when you did cut these, if you have a little, I would say if mom or dad is helping, that you help them cut, because they do need to be straight. That way they can kind of link up together. So then you're just going to alternate. This one came through this way. My next chain, once I widen the ears, is going to go down and up. Sometimes it's easier when it has that extra space. Sometimes it's just easier to try the paper. If you're having a little bit of a struggle getting the chain in, try to make sure you have that chain really pulled over as far as you can, and that'll give you a little bit more space. So I'm alternating some of my pattern pieces, and you're always going to be working in, for the rest of your chain, rest of your bracelet, with the top of the ears, not the part of the ears that would be by the bunny. So the only chain that you do the that you have to the bottom is the first one. The rest are going to work toward the, you want to have the part of the bunny head, that's what you're holding on to with the first chain. Alright, so this is just going to take a little second, so I'm going to go ahead and do some library magic, and I'm going to meet you up with when most of my chains are finished, and we will go ahead and show you how to finish off your bracelet. Alright, so I have my bracelet, all my links together. So I have, this is our starter link, And you do have to have this link face, the last link is going to be facing toward the floor if you're holding it by your first link. So they need to be opposites. One needs to be pointing up, one needs to be pointing down. So our last chain is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to do the fold it in half, and then we're going to do the fold it to the middle, and then you're actually going to make this one look like an M. So you're gonna have this middle piece, you're gonna, once you have the two pieces folded to the inside, you're actually going to reverse it to the outside, and it either is gonna look like a W or an M, depending upon how it looks. All right, so then you're going to take your last chain, you're going to insert the two pieces into the last ears. And since these ones are thinner, it may be a little bit harder. But you're gonna have your two open ears. You're going to have the two pieces. Sometimes it's easier to just start with one and then get the other one started too. There we go. All right. So you're gonna have it face up like this. Okay. So now that we have that piece in, we're gonna take a closer look so you can see exactly what it looks like. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your two pieces, and you are, so on this piece that we made at the chain at the beginning, you're going to have four little parts to your chain. You have the two pieces that are on the inside, you have the two pieces that are on the outside. So we are actually trying to, if possible, and this is when you may need a pencil or the cap the most, is get the space in between the ears. So let's take a closer look. All right, so you're going to take your piece of chain that is still loose, well, that's straightened out. And then you link it together. It's going to look like this. And we're also going to have a closer look with pictures to show you these different steps as well. So then you take it, you insert, and if you want to try, some people are able to get that final piece to go all the way through to the bottom piece as well. All right, so that piece is secured, and we're going to do the same thing with the front piece. You're going to slip it in between, and you're going to try to put it through both portions of the bracelet. And then these you can make kind of to the size that you need. Mine was about 20 chains, and if you need, you can always use your little pin cap to flatten it out to kind of link everything together, and then you have your bracelet. Mine was a little bit bigger than my wrist, but that was also because I had to get it over my hand. So that is your bracelet. If you need any more help or you need to like double check on a step, feel free to pause the video. Remember, we have our summer reading program going on, so continue to read. When you read 360 minutes and log it on the Wandu site, which is where we keep track of our summer reading, you get to get entered for the grand prizes. Each age group has a grand prize, which is really exciting. So mom, dad, brothers, sisters, grandma can even participate and get entered for those great prizes. Keep up with us for more digital content throughout the rest of the summer, and keep in touch because we are going to hopefully have some more stuff coming up in the fall. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye.